What is interesting when you think about of a foundation of Europe, it is that there is a specific type of connection between different type of cities. In particular, for example, Constantinople, but also the city of Trento and also the city of Vienna, but at the same time also the city, for example, of Valladolid. In fact, in this sense, in particular during the early modern age, we have to consider that, for example, in the 53 AD, there was the fallen of Constantinople from the Turks, in this sense, Muslims Turks. But we know also that Constantinople it was really important for the history of the Western society, or in any case for the history of the Middle Ages, because Constantinople it was founded as in the Christian age by Constantine, the emperor of the Roman Empire in the 4th century AD. This is really interesting because then Constantinople became the new Rome, and in this sense developed its specific type of religion as Orthodox, a Christian Orthodox Christianity. In this sense, in fact, differently from the Western Middle Ages that saw specifically the division between the temporal power and the spiritual power, or better, the idea of laws of the different type of lands is across the Europe, and also the idea of Pope that maintained spiritual power in the idea of the East Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire. We understand that in this case there was a specific type of unification of these two powers in the emperor. This is really interesting because then Constantinople it was also important because the emperor, the East Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire asked some support from the Pope of Rome, because in this sense for the Crusades. This is really interesting because, for example, the Crusades were developed because the Byzantine Empire considered itself in dangers in front of Muslims. It's an open debate if the Muslims could conquer or not the Byzantine Empire, but in any case, the Byzantine Empire and the Emperor of Constantinople consider his empire in dangers, and therefore asked to the Western societies across the Middle Ages of the West part support, in particular to the Pope. We know that the Pope Urban II answered, and in this case there were the Crusades in the end of the 11th century. This is really interesting because therefore Constantinople it was really important also in relation with the movements of the Crusades, of the people who went to the Crusades. In fact, Constantinople it was for people who developed the idea of crusade, walking in lands. Constantinople it was the first type of a city where the Crusades were began. And in any case, the idea of Constantinople it was also important in relation with the idea of Christianity. With the fallen of Constantinople in 4053, in the 16th century, because it was conquered by the Ottoman Muslims, there was a specific type of crisis of Europe in relation with the fact that Muslims tried to arrive in the West. In fact, they develop different type of conquest, or in any case, develop also a specific type of war against Vienna, battles against Vienna. For example, the assault of Vienna. And this type of connection, we have to consider this type of connection with the question or the issue in Spain. In fact, the kingdom of Spain, we know that Isabel of Castile and Ferdinand Aragona developed, unified the Spain. In fact, the kingdom of Castile and the kingdom of Aragona develop in a specific type of one only kingdom, as a kingdom of Castile, and this type of kingdom, it was a sort of kingdom of Spain, and there was the discovery of the America from Christopher Columbus in 1492. But in any case, this type of movements of Muslims arrived to develop a specific type of reflection in relation with the new new king of Spain, Carlo V, after Isabella di Castiglia e Ferdinando d'Aragona. In fact, Carlo V had to, with the metal prices that arrived from the South America, lands that were part of the Spanish colonialism, with this type of precious metals, the king of Spain supported his campaigns, military campaigns against the Muslims, for example, or in any case supports his campaigns to defend the idea of Christianity, better the idea of Catholic, because Spain it was Catholic, therefore in relation with the Catholic Church. This is also interesting because Valladolid, if Constantinople it was important in that sense, Valladolid and Spain in general, it was important because on the one hand in Vienna also, because Carlo V developed a specific type of wealth to support to limit the assaults of the Muslims to Vienna. But at the same time, it is also important to consider the idea that when there was the discovery of America, there was a debate in Valladolid to support the idea of the human rights. Therefore, Vienna in relation with the assaults of the Muslims, and Carlo V that tried to defend the Europe from the Muslims, and in this case it is important also the idea of precious metals that arrived in Spanish from the South America to support the wealth of Spain and the wealth of Carlo V, of the kings of the Spain, against the Muslims in relation with the wealth of Spain. And there is also a debate between the just price and the wrong price in relation with the idea that Carlo V developed the idea of wealth with precious metals, but indirectly the fact that the precious metals arrived from the South America to Spain, and in Spain there were a lot of precious metals, developed a specific type of changing of the prices, because there was inflation in relation with the idea that there were a lot of precious metals in Spain. And there was another debate that it is important in relation with the idea of the defense of Europe and the defense of Vienna. But at the same time, it is also interesting the idea of a debate that it was developed during the situation in Valladolid. In fact, in Valladolid there was a specific type of debate on the human rights or the rights of the Indios, people who were born in America, between Las Casas, a Dominican religion, and religious, and Sepulveda, another religions. And Sepulveda didn't support the rights of the Indios. Las Casas supported the rights of the Indios, supporting the ancient Greek philosophy in relation with the Santo Aquinas philosophy. This is a topic really important. And then there was also the question of Trent, in fact, the Council of Trent, in relation with the theory of human rights, but also in relation with the idea of Luther, because we know that in 1516 Luther developed his theorizes against the Catholic Church in relation with the idea of Protestantism, and therefore, for example, the Church had to reorganize itself. We know, for example, an important philosopher and intellectual, Domingo de Soto, that he participated for the Spain, at the same time, or He participated, at the debate of Valladolid as president of the debate, but he participated also at the Council of Trento for Carlo V. And this is interesting because in the debate of Valladolid, it was debated the right of the Indios, but in the debate of Trento, it was debated the idea of Christianity in relation with his different type of forms and what is the main issue that the Catholic Church had to consider consider. We understand therefore how this type of cities develop between themselves, this type of thought. And in any case, it is also important that with the Crusades that were promoted by the Pope in relation with in relation with the Constantinople, that considered the Muslims in the East as a specific type of problem for his empire before his fallen, we know that the Muslim in the 7th century they conquered the Sassanid Empire as the Persian Sassanid Empire. Then, with the Crusades, there was in any case that were promoted between a connection between Constantinople and the Pope of Rome, the Pope of the Western Latin Middle Ages. In the case of the Crusades, arrived to develop a specific type of connection with the East, with the people of the East, the Muslims, and the people of the West, in particular, in this sense, the Christian people. And Plato and Aristotle and the Greek science arrived to be rediscovered properly in that period of the First Crusade, in the end of the First Crusade, because with the Crusades the idea of the Persian Sassans that were conquered by the Muslims in the 7th century AD, it was rediscovered in relation with also the Crusades. Therefore, we know that the 5th century, the 15th century, the 16th century were centuries really problematic, but at the same time really important for the history of the Western civilization. Bye.